Get your baseball bets. Get your baseball bets. Get them while they're nice and hot. Let's go.
Let's go. This ain't the fuck like oh, this game he stinks.
Oh shit!
It's gone.
And we are live. Welcome everybody back to another episode of the MoneyPot Podcast, the most entertaining sports fan gambling show on the East Coast, where we teach, show, and bet live so you can fill your pockets with more cash. I just made that upgrade. This is the money clap. This is the
I like it. I love it. It's universal.
It's original. The money clap right there. And we do not disappoint. 2 weeks in a row, we have hit live free parlays. My other guy, my co-host, was killing it. We're going to keep the streak alive. We got the homie Greg on. We will get into the show. Who doesn't like a parlay party? I like a parlay party. I got coffee. I got water. I got chips. I love parlay party. I am your host, Moss Money. And like I said before, we have a familiar face on the show, a new guest to the show, but a familiar face to you guys on A2D Radio. You know him. You might even hate him. One of the original crumbs of A2D Radio, Greg Malakovic. What's going on, brother?
Nothing, brother. How are you?
I'm good, man. Happy to be here, man. Happy you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Happy you gave up your time from leaving a 9-iron in the bag, your tea time in the green to come on to the show, man.
Yeah, we got that in. We got that in yesterday afternoon, so we're good. So
good. So everybody, why is Greg even here? This is the thing. Like, why did I switch it up today? Because we're talking baseball, baby. And I know in the air we smell it. Football is around the corner. Training camp is coming. We're talking this, how people good. But baseball, I just don't want to give up on baseball, not yet, because there's still money to be made in the baseball future bets, the Phillies. And what is there? 162 games. What do we got? 58, something like that, games left, I believe, in the season?
Yeah, I got 51 is what 51. I have calculated for the Phillies.
51 games left.
40, yeah, 51 is what I have calculated.
So we have plenty of money to be made for these baseball bets.
Or I guess 52 counting today. I wasn't counting today's game.
Okay. And then I was talking to Tom. You guys know him, love him, hate him, all the above as well. Tom Arnone from A2D Radio, owner, CEO, president. You're all around sports fan asshole, as I call him. He's doing baseball things down in South Carolina right now.
Yep.
He's coaching. So congrats to those guys. Bring some hardware back, Tom. Another money clap for that. There we go. We're starting new things here, new trends. But we're not talking Little League. We're talking Major League Baseball. The hunt for October is upon us. And the playoffs are here. We're already looking at bets. We've made the trade deadlines. We got Thor. We got Marsh. And who was the third one?
Robertson.
Right? Robinson, right?
Robertson.
Yeah. We got all three. And I think you said this, Greg. One of the best things you can do is shore up the center of the field from your catcher, your second base, and your center field. We let Didi go. Some people was kind of here and there, but I think he only had one home run, right, this year. So it was time. But they said, he won us some games, I believe.
I think two. Yeah.
So, he was, I guess he was okay, but we needed Stott at the shortstop. We had to keep riding with Stott and keep that kind of going.
Especially since Segura was coming back from injury, right? That was kind of
right.
That was kind of while Segura was out, you were able to ride with Didi a little bit longer than probably that leash allowed or needed to be.
Yeah.
Because you still needed that guy in the lineup, right? And you were able to play Stott at second base, and but once Gene came back, and I'm glad they made that move, because that's a huge move for the future. For down the line next year, down the as we continue with the Bryson Stott experiment wherever he plays.
Yeah, and then obviously we let Moniak go, and I thought in the Thor trade, but I thought that what Moniak said I thought it was really mature of him, of what he said.
Yeah,
a lot of money on the field, he couldn't play. He knows how he can get better. He needs to play. He needs to get more comfortable. All that. The more I get deeper into baseball, all that stuff starts to make sense, where guys need to get in a routine when they play baseball. They can't just kind of be in and out, different positions. They have to play to kind of see what they got. And I think we're seeing that with Baum, Stout, and I think that's it. It was the two that are really kind of showing out from the
Well, you're also seeing that in your bullpen too.
Yeah, right.
You're seeing, with Girardi pulling guys in any other inning. No one knows kind of what their role is. No one knows when their number is going to be called. Baseball, as we always say, it is a game of habit, right? We're creatures of habit as baseball players. We're used to coming in and checking our lineup card. All right, cool. I'm playing shortstop, batting seventh, like I always am, right? Or I'm playing center field, batting leadoff, like I always am. That translates over to the bullpen too. When guys know around the time their number is going to be called, they get themselves into a routine throughout the game.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I think that's been huge for you. Absolutely right. Baum, Stott, they're getting those regular at bats. But I think that's also been huge and key for our bullpen, and it's been the reason for their excellent pitching over the last 2-3 months.
Yeah, and I was going to say, before we get into the poll question, when you look at the run, or you look at the games they've won and the record that they're standing at right now, especially when Harper went out, it's been the arms.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't really been the bats.
Right?
It's been the arms. And it's crazy, because in the beginning of this year, we love the lineup. We love the money that was spent. Our owners are doing the right things to make this a contender and make this a winner and build the team around Harper. But at the same time, really wasn't the bats.
Yeah.
It was the arms, right? And we haven't had a decent bullpen, in a while.
In a long time. Yeah, absolutely.
In a long time. And now I thought Noah's coming off, Thor's coming off the Tommy John surgery, right? So the quote on talk is about 2 years. He takes him about 2 years to kind of come back from that.
Fully back, yep.
Yeah. So I didn't like that he gave up a lot of hits last game, because he did.
Yeah.
But I think they're still auditioning for that third starter, right? Because it's either him. Who's the other one? Suarez.
And
then there's one more.
And then Gibson.
That's right. Yeah, Gibson.
Gibson almost threw a perfect game the other day. So.
Right, exactly.
But how great is competition, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
in any sport.
Yeah.
You bring in guys to make your team better, and then look, Kyle Gibson almost throws a perfect game, almost no-hitter, right? Ranger Suarez comes out last night and throws really well.
Mm-hmm.
Wish he would have gotten through the sixth inning personally, but hey, when you're up 9-0, you're not really – there's not too much to nitpick, right?
Yeah.
But competition breeds that. You bring in a new guy who's supposed to jump into your third, and these two guys are sitting here like, why am I not the third? And let's go. Well, let's have a battle for it, because that's just going to make everybody else better.
Yeah, I agree. So speaking of the Phillies, goes and rolls right into our poll question. Our poll question is brought to you by BetUS. BetUS is a fantastic website for sports gambling. I don't know about you guys, but I do like to travel. And the one thing that I can say about BetUS is that you can go and BetUS and bet in all 50 states.
Amen.
Greg is a notorious traveler to Florida. And Greg, you can't bet.
I'm a resident now. There ain't no more travel. I'm a resident. Oh, yeah.
My bad. Let's step it up a notch. He is a resident of Florida. Now, I know for a fact you cannot bet you can't bet DraftKings or FanDuel, but guess what you can bet?
You can bet US. Yes, sir.
Bet US. The link is in the comments on YouTube. Still 125% bonus deposit. Have to make a $50 deposit, minimum deposit. Go get some free money. All those deposits on all these sports books, they are inducing you to bet, but they're also giving you free money. So you go in, you put your $50 down, you get your deposit, you use that money to make your bet, You hopefully hit the bet, especially if you listen to MoneyPot. You hit the bet, you take your money out, boom, no harm, no foul. You just use their money to make money. Gotta love that. And it's brought to you by our poll question. Our poll question of the day is: the Philadelphia Phillies will make the 2022 MLB playoffs. Facebook, YouTube, no more Twitter. I don't think so. But Facebook and YouTube, let us know. What do you think? Agree or disagree here? The Phillies will make the 2022 MLB playoffs. It's hard to say no, right? At this point, really hard to say no at this point. Looking at the odds are right now. So the odds are not, if you are using Bet US, I believe the odds are minus 265, but more favorable odds on FanDuel right now is minus 255. But here's the interesting thing to me. So I guess it's a crapshoot because the Brewers, who are I believe a game behind in the standings and the last wild card, they are also minus 255. So right now, I'll tell you the top division leaders, and then the wild card, and then we'll get into the new format too as well. So we got the Dodgers, the Mets, the Cardinals, the Braves, the Padres, and then the Phillies, with the Brewers breathing down our neck, a game back, and then the Giants kind of just fell off.
So they still have the Padres listed, or they have the Cardinals listed above the Padres. That's interesting.
Yeah, they do.
Cardinals are a good team, but obviously the Padres came out and made all those moves.
Yeah.
At the deadline, so it'll be interesting to see how quickly they acclimate themselves.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think that from a betting perspective, it's a lot delay, right? It's counting what your bankroll is. You're betting almost 2.5 to 1, meaning you have to bet $250 to win 100. So when you look at the odds like that, it's kind of telling you that, yes, they're probably more likely going to make the playoffs. Their schedule is favorable. I know they do play Atlanta still. I think I looked, and they do play. Who was the other team?
I have it broken down here. Yeah, so
go
they got 7 versus the Mets left, 4 versus the Braves. So those are the upper echelon of the division.
Yeah.
They have 2 versus the Blue Jays, 3 versus the Astros.
Mm-hmm.
So those are 5 games against what you would probably consider playoff teams.
Yep.
And then they have 35 games against teams that are below 500 currently right now.
Wow.
9 of those are against the Marlins, 7 are against the Reds, 7 against the Nationals, and then there's 3 3-3s. So
I can't call the Marlins wins because we.
No, and you're 100% right. Absolutely. Those 9 scare the hell out of me.
Yeah, Florida, man. What was it, the first time, since 2010? We swept the Marlins in Florida?
In Florida.
It's ridiculous. So with that favorable schedule, I do have a future bet on them winning over, I think it was 86 games.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it takes 90 for them to make the playoffs?
Yes.
They have to win at least 90.
Yeah. Because I think the National League has come into, so you have your four top teams is what it's come down to, right? You got your Dodgers, your Braves, the Mets, your Padres, and then you have the Cardinals. Like you said, I was actually shocked that the Cardinals were still betting favorites over the Padres, right? That might change obviously in a couple days and weeks once the Padres kind of get going. I mean, Cardinals are a really, really good team.
Well, they're not the betting favorites. They're third. The third in the standings. They're not in the wild card.
Oh, okay, yeah, right, correct. Yes.
So if the playoffs, so that is if the playoffs,
they're winning the Central right now. Yes.
Yeah, they're winning the Central. Right now. Exactly. Yeah.
I thought you were saying that they had better odds than the Padres.
So right now the Cardinals are minus 285. Are the Padres on here? So they don't have. Oh yeah, the Padres. The Padres are minus 750.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. The Padres.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. My bad.
No. So the National League has jumped into like a 4-team top, and then you have the other teams. The last 3 teams are going to be really back and forth, right? You obviously have the Brewers and the Cardinals for the Central, and then you're going to have that final playoff spot. So you got the Phillies in there, or the final wild card spot. That's where you have the Phillies, the Cardinals, or the Brewers, whoever doesn't win, and those two really have really moved themselves into kind of like a buffer, because the next team after that is San Fran, but they're 7 games back of the Brewers, who are a game back of us. So they're 8 games back. San Fran is 8 games back of us in the wild card right now.
Okay.
For that third and final spot. So again, it's going to come down to who wins the Central, and then out of that, are the Phillies able to hold on to that final wild card going forward? I would hope 35 out of 51 games playing teams under 500, you're able to hold that.
So do you agree to the poll?
So I would agree to the poll, yes.
Okay.
And I have future bets, and this is probably
there we go. Talk some money.
Oh yeah.
Let's
They're
go.
definitely not smart and definitely impulsive, but I got future bet of the Phillies winning the National League.
What's that payout?
That was 12-1.
Okay.
And that was done July 4th week. So that was done a couple weeks ago.
So you had a couple in you when you did it.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I was in Reno at the sports book. I'm like, what can we get into? What can we get into?
Right.
And then I took them to win the World Series at 25-1. I figured if you're going to win the National League, you got to keep going, right? So
yeah. So right now they're 40-1.
Is that where they're at?
They're for plus 4,000.
Yeah.
So you got them at plus 2,500.
I got plus 25.
500. Yeah. So they're plus 4,000.
And a lot of that was how as we kind of talked, a lot of that was how they were playing without Bryce. Right, they were holding their own. They were playing well. They were winning games they should, and hey, you were losing games you should, but you weren't out of every game, right? And then you look at the moves that we made here at the deadline. And October's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So again, we talked about the pitching. October's crazy, and if you can pitch, you can be in a lot of these games.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of the, we talked about the deadline deals, but what we didn't talk about is we did get Gene Segura back, right? I mean, that's a crazy deadline deal if you want to think about it, right?
Yeah.
And here in 3 weeks to a month, we're going to get the MVP back, and hopefully by the time playoffs come around, his timing and his at bats are there, that he's that force that we need in that lineup.
So when Harper comes back, so help me kind of figure this out. Who's in right field right now?
It's Castellanos.
That's Castellanos. So when Harper comes back, is he going to be throwing, or is he going to be the DH? And if
he's still probably going to be the DH. He talked about how the downtime did work as a double positive to help with the elbow, but I don't think he's going to be able to throw full time to be able to play out there every day. So he still probably will come back. He will probably come back as the DH.
So what happens to the rest? Because Schwarber's the DH now, right?
No, they have that the kid Hall. Yeah.
Hall.
Derek Hall.
Okay. And then where does he go? Does he
by that time the roster's probably expand, so he probably doesn't go back to Lehigh Valley.
Okay.
So at that point, at some point there in September, the rosters expand to where you're allowed to bring up more guys, and then just the 26 that you're allowed to have on a regular basis. So he probably doesn't. He probably stays and becomes a pinch hitting piece off the bench. Okay. Maybe sees a game here at first base every once in a while, but I don't see him playing much once Harper comes back.
Okay. What's going on with me of everything? It's been a while, man. Glad to have you on, bro.
What's up, brother?
So going back to more of the betting side, right? So you talked about your future bets. I told you I have a future bet on them winning. I think it was 86.5. I got it real early. I think I did it when all the the Willing and Dylan Castellanos came, Schwarber come, they all kind of came. So that's when I made the bet. So looking at the Phillies playoff picture, we already know they're at minus 255 on DraftKings to make the playoffs. Really strong bet. Like I said, if your bankroll allows it, be my guest. I'm not going to bet that. I have a future bet on their team total in terms of their wins. So there's not a lot right now mid-season. There's not a lot to bet on those type of plays. But when I was looking, and just looking for more value for folks, I did find a couple gems that I thought were really good. And these were the gems that I found from a mid-season future kind of bet. So the first one I found was I thought Verlander was really low for the Cy Young for the AL. He's at minus 160. Now we're going away from we're going the opposite way of where we want to bet because we're paying some juice. So minus 160 obviously tells you that you got to pay $1.60 to win 100.
Yep.
But the next closest person is plus 300 to me. And the way he's going, the way Houston's going, it's hard for me to see him not winning 20 games. And if he wins, he's almost a lock now. But if he wins 20 games, he's definitely a lock because he'll be the first 21, the first 20 winner of the league so far. Because I think he has 15 right now.
He's got 15 right now, yeah.
He's got 15 right now, and he leads the league in wins. ERA still tops in the AL, top 3, I believe, in the MLB.
His numbers are stupid when you consider that he's 39 years old.
And I was looking, is he going to be the oldest to win it? I feel like it had to be.
He might be. I'll look it up.
Maybe Page, Satchel Page, maybe.
Maybe some of these older guys.
Yeah, like an old-time great that's probably in there. But that
I'd be close. Gaylord Perry won it in 1978 at the age of 40.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Clemens won it and he's 42.
That makes sense.
2004 Clemens, that was prime. That was prime.
Yankees Roger Clemens?
Yeah, it was prime steroids Clemens. But it's still dude still was a pimp.
Throwing gas.
Yeah. So 42.
42?
But it was Gaylord from 78 to 2004.
Wow. So that was a future bet that I really like because outside of injury, I don't see him slowing down and I don't see anybody catching him.
Yes. And as you mentioned too, the Astros, they're the cream of the crop there in the AL West.
Yeah.
Right. It's them and the Marlins, and they own the Marlins.
Yeah.
Or not the Mariners. I'm sorry. They own the Mariners. It's funny. Like if you look at Robbie Ray's numbers, I got this from Wilson the other day. Robbie Ray's numbers versus everybody else to the league, it's like Cy Young-esque. Robbie Ray's numbers versus the Astros, it's like Bailey Falter for us. Right? It's just like he just can't pitch against the Astros.
Yeah, and I looked at them against the Yankees too, and I think they're up on the Yankee series like 5-2.
Yeah.
So I like Houston. I'm ashamed to say I like Houston because if you don't know, everybody should know who Mattress Mac is, and he has huge future bets on the Astros.
Oh, really?
Huge, like 3, 4. He's put in multiple future bets on the Astros to win the whole thing. And I can't believe I'm going to say this. I actually agree with it. I fade him in everything else. I fade him in every other pick. But I like Houston. I looked at the last World Series winners. It's between the Dodgers and the Astros in the last 5. The last 5, the Dodgers and the Astros have been in the World Series. At first, it was the Dodgers the first 2, and then it kind of flip-flopped back and forth. Now, obviously, it was Houston and Atlanta last year. And obviously, we know about the cheating and everything with Houston, stealing signs or whatever you want to call it. You think they're cheaters. They're just good.
They're so far past that now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
they're just good.
That was cute for a year, but when they keep coming back,
right?
You know what I mean? And Altuve's the same way, right? Like, okay, cool. Altuve was wearing a buzzer. All right, he knew Chapman was coming, whatever, right? But
yeah,
Altuve hasn't slowed down. Like,
yeah,
it's not like he got worse.
Yeah,
after they got caught, right?
Right, absolutely. And then I looked at their top 3 in their pitching rotation. Ridiculous.
Yep.
Right, and then their I forget his name, but the guy who does their saves, I think he has 22 saves out of 31 opportunities.
I think it's Presley.
Presley, yeah, I think so. Yeah. So
and you know, it's funny. You know who's throwing really well out there for him is the guy Phillies fans can't stand, in Hector Neris.
Okay.
Hector
Okay.
Neris is like their 7th or 8th inning guy.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. He used to wear his hat to the side?
Yeah, he used to wear his hat a little bit to the side. Yeah. And I mean, you bring up that name and Phillies fans, like they start to puke, right?
Right.
But he's been solidified in their bullpen as like their 7th or 8th inning guy, and it's crazy because it's what happens when you get a change of scenery.
Yeah, absolutely. So jumping ahead a little bit, because I just have this in my head from the World Series. Right now, Houston is plus 450. Now, here's an interesting stat that I found. In the last 10 years, the number 1 seed has not won the World Series.
Wow.
So, and it goes back even farther than that. So typical, the number 1 seed,
I'm sorry, overall or just
overall
in the
number
league?
1 in the AL or the NL.
Okay.
They do not win. Whoever has the best record does not win the World Series.
Right.
In the
Makes
last
sense.
10 years. You could keep going back even farther. I think it was the Yankees that did it a couple years. I'm trying to think of the other team that I saw. The one that pops in my head are the Yankees. But typically, it doesn't happen. Usually, it's one of the winners of the division, obviously.
Yeah.
No really out of the blue wild card have won it in the last 10 years. He's either first or second person in the division. And when you look at, the last 5 has just been Dodgers and Houston, just sitting in the series each and every year. So I'm using those trends to think about this, and I couldn't find it on DraftKings, but I wonder what is a I'll look it up now. Astros versus Dodgers World Series matchup odds. 2022 odds. See if I can find something on like somewhere else. But I think I really like Houston to win it all. I really think Houston has a really good chance of winning it all this year. But you can usually do matchups.
Yeah.
On the odds, but you have to search for those books that allow you to do it. Maybe Bet Rivers has it. Let's check out Bet Rivers real quick. Haven't brought Bet Rivers up here in a while.
Yeah, the Astros and the Dodgers, they're obviously the top dogs for a reason. You look at the Dodgers' first three people in their lineup, Betts, Turner, Freeman. Like, I don't know if you can find an all-star team that has that 3 at the top of your lineup. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
It's like the Dodgers almost start off every game 1-0 at least.
Yeah.
Between the 3 of them, and they're incredible. And it was kind of funny. Obviously, the Padres made all those moves. Got Juan Soto, got Josh Bell, got Brandon Drury. Made a plethora of moves at the trade deadline, and then they play the Dodgers in the series after that. And I think the Dodgers are up 3-0 on them right now.
Yeah.
Or and so they're like, don't worry, we're still here, we're still daddy.
Right.
Like,
right.
You can make all the moves you want, but you're still the little brother.
Yeah. They got smoked. I saw that. And the membership plays yesterday. I was on the Dodgers.
Okay.
We went 2-1. 2-1.
Okay.
2-1. How did UFC play?
Winning days.
You had it.
Look at UFC card.
Yeah, it was. Everybody got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, everybody finished. It was good.
Everybody got smoked in that too. Most of the favorites won. I thought Usman's brother made a lot of sense as a big underdog. He was the one as an underdog. It just, like, when you start to break down UFC, you can start to see the politics of how they set up fighters to win, right? And there's no way another Usman in the UFC was going to lose. You know what I mean? Like, this is no way. So when you see stuff like that, you have to start to look behind the lines and the way they're doing stuff. That's all about ratings.
Yeah. And even outside of, like, the betting aspect of it, right? Like, even if he would have lost as the big underdog, right? What was his odds?
It was plus 225, I believe.
Okay. So even if he would have lost, though, you're right. Another Usman in the UFC, that's ratings. That's ratings heaven. he was getting the contract, maybe just not right away, like if the other guy would have won, but he was getting there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that dude's a monster. Holy shit.
Yeah, nah. He's a big boy. He's a fucking big boy. Yeah, he's a big little brother.
Yeah.
Like it is ridiculous. So they don't have it up yet. They just have which is surprising to me. They don't have it up yet. Maybe when we get closer, they do. I can't find it. I keep finding the odds on
just
for
the straight odds, right?
Yeah, just the straight odds.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, the Bet US, they have Verlander at -148. So that's a pretty decent number.
We got a little value there.
Yeah, versus what we saw with DraftKings at -160. That's the one thing about betting that you guys all have to understand, is that you have to shop around. Have to shop around and get the best number that you can, especially if it's a number that has a little bit of juice on it. You want to shop around. Obviously, you want to be plus EV. We love plus EV bets, plus 110, plus 115, plus 120. But when you start getting into the -135, -140s, -150, you really have to think about your bet because you're paying the tax. I call it a tax. It's really what it is. You're paying a tax to pay for the favorite. And when you lose, you get kind of caught and you're not on the best side. I just like this play because I think that Houston's going to be the top in their division and probably finish second in the standings in the AL. And when you look at that, obviously there's going to be an ace that carries you there. Verlander's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's doing things that only greats do at this age. 39 years old, looking at the Cy Young, leading the league, I believe, in ERA. Excuse me.
God bless.
Leading the AL and ERA, leading the majors, and damn, I got another sneeze. Damn. Alerted to my own bullshit, maybe. Leading the MLB in wins. He gets to 20. It's a lock. I just think it's a sure fire bet to me. I really do. So, like I said, Verlander, easy. I think a really easy play. If your bankroll only allows for the -148 or the -160, hey, go ahead. The question is, do you want to wait until the end to wait the $100? That's the other thing. Some people like their money fast. People like that quick return. Oh, I put money out, I need to get it back. So I would go a little bit heavy, maybe 2 or 3 units on that play. But at the same time, you still have to wait until they announce it, and hopefully, bearing any injury that he does win. What's up, Don? Don said I got the Astros versus the Mets World Series.
Oh, interesting.
What odds were that, Don? And what book did you get it from? Let me know where you got it from and what's the odds on that.
And not just because I'm a Mets hater, but I think the Mets fade down the stretch.
They always do, don't they?
Yeah, they always do. Yes.
Yeah, but typically always do.
They've had a better year sustaining at least. Listen, what the Mets have done without Scherzer and DeGrom to this point has been not short of amazing. Like, let's call spade a spade here, right?
Yeah.
As much as I hate the Mets and I, whatever, wish they were never around, but what they've been able to do without Scherzer and DeGrom has been flat out amazing. But I think because of that, it's going to start to wear on them. And these guys that aren't used to pitching big innings, aren't used to pitching deep into a pennant race, are going to start to wear. You saw that the other day with Taijuan Walker facing the Braves. Now, granted, it was probably because I just traded for him in fantasy right before playoffs started, right? But that being said, I mean, Braves lit him up for 8 runs in like 3 or 4 innings. And he was cruising. Now, okay, 1 start, whatever. It very well possibly could be true. But we'll see. What DeGrom do we get back? And obviously, what Scherzer do you get? Scherzer's getting up there in age, and he's only got so many bullets left. He's pitched at a high clip for a long time.
Yeah.
And I actually think the Braves win the division.
Really?
The Mets hold on to a wild card, but I think the Braves win the division. If you look at it right now, the Mets are 5.5 up
Mm-hmm.
But creeping here, the Phillies are only four games behind the Braves right now for that second wild card, right?
So I have the
Phillies only
Braves as the
four.
first wild card if it stopped now,
Yes.
and then the Padres, and then the Phils.
Yes.
But yeah,
Yep.
but you're right, 4 behind, and only a half a game behind the Padres.
Half a game behind the Padres. Yes.
Yeah. So here's the question, and I think is good that you kind of went here with the playoff standings, so we can get into the format and just kind of play with how this is going to play out, and can you get strategic in who you want to play in your role to get to a pennant. So if you guys don't know, there's a new format. I think they did it last year too, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, they did it last year. So before, I believe it used to be 10 teams would make the playoffs. Now there's 12.
Yeah.
And there's 3 division winners and 3 wild cards from both conferences. So 3 division winners from the AL, 3 division winners from the NL, and then 3 wild card teams for both. So you get 12 teams, both 6 on each side. So looking at this here, we have, like you said, Harper hopefully coming back for even a later push. 35 out of the 51 teams, as you said, are under 500. Right now, we're at 59 and 48. Say we win all 35, that puts us at 94 wins. Now, say everything that we're looking at here is going to kind of stay the same, even though I think the Cardinals might falter here. Because the Brewers are only a game back behind the Cardinals.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals win the division. I think the Brewers.
Think the Cardinals
I do. I think there's something inside of that trade of Josh Hader that isn't going to fit right with the Milwaukee Brewers.
Okay.
I that trade doesn't make sense. Why would a first place team trade their all-world closer for some pieces?
Yeah.
You know, Trevor Rogers is good, but he's not Josh Hader.
Yeah. Where did Hader go?
He went to San Diego.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So like something in there just doesn't sit right. I heard some comments from Devin Williams, who's now the new closer. He's not too thrilled about it.
Yeah.
So I just have a feeling there's something going on inside that clubhouse, inside that organization, that I don't know that they're able to hold on, to the division at least. Like you said, I think the next team is the Giants, and they're 6 games clear of Milwaukee, who's a game behind us then, for that final wild card. So I think they're a player in the wild card. I just don't think they win the division.
Let me see if I can bring up FanDuel Sportsbook so we can see it. I had Bet Rivers up. Maybe we might use Bet Rivers, but we haven't used Bet Rivers. Do Bet Rivers have who's going to make the playoffs? MLP. See, I think DraftKings is the only one with the playoffs that is kind of, fan friendly as per
Right.
se. Everybody else has, division winners, MVPs, Cy Young and stuff like that. So give me a second here. Don. Yeah, I saw this bet, Don. For another Subway Series. FanDuel only has the bet for the Mets versus the Yankees at plus 800. Leave that alone.
No, thanks.
That. Yeah, I
won't watch a second of it.
Yeah. So getting back to the format, Dodgers is going to more likely finish first, right?
Yep.
Okay. We have the Dodgers, and then the Mets will win their what's that? The East, right? Us.
Yep.
So because we're in 10 games back, and they would have to fall off obviously a huge drop off or something for us to catch them.
And plus, we don't play them enough to make up any significant games. Like, 11 of our 51 games are against the Mets and Braves, so 2 teams ahead of us.
Okay.
So that's not a lot of. I mean, it's you can still make up room, but you have to go. I mean, going 9-2 in that still doesn't make up the 9 games.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you'd have to get some timely losses in those other, 30, 40 games that you have left. Get some timely losses from a Mets or a Braves team that to fully make that up.
So, and then we have the Cardinals. Like you said, you like the Cardinals to keep winning to win that division. Let me see if I can bring this up. Team features. There we go. So we'll bring this up right here. So y'all, we are using DraftKings right here. So like I said, I say this all the time, shop around. Shop around. Use BetUS. Obviously, it's a show sponsor. Use BetUS. Look at their odds. Use DraftKings. Use FanDuel. Use Bet Rivers if you're in PA. Use, Caesars Sportsbook, MGM. Use them all. Get the best odds that you can and then use these promos. I know it's hard to spread out money like that, but this is why we talk about bankroll management. So if you have, say, $1,000 to play with, get 5 books and put $200 on each, and then kind of see where your best odds are. So it's a really good strategy, and then use those promos that you get. So right now, to make the playoffs. So like I said, they don't have them all up, but like I said, the Phillies are at 255. We talked about them. We talked about the Cardinals at 285, the Brewers at 235. See, they only have 275, so they don't even have. They do have the Cardinals. I'm sorry. So the Cardinals is at 285. The Padres. I don't see they do have the Braves. They don't have the Dodgers. So those odds are probably way too long to even put them up, because the Braves right now are minus 3,500. Yeah. This probably should be off. Nobody's betting this.
Yep.
Right? Nobody's betting this. Unless they're a big syndicate or something like that, nobody's betting this. I thought this was kind of interesting with the minus 255. But let's go to what you were talking about with the Cardinals and was it the East, right?
The division?
The Central. Here
Central, yeah.
So minus 125 and minus 105 for that play for the Cardinals. You just get rid of your best closer. What's the rest of their schedule like for the Brewers? And I'll look at the Cardinals real quick here. So, big series coming up. They do play the Brewers. So they have the Rockies, the Brewers, Cubs, Atlanta, nobody good, National, the Reds. They do have a pretty significant stretch in September. The end of September, they play the Padres 3 times. Then they play the Dodgers, and then play the Brewers in a 2-game series all on the road for the Cardinals. And then they finish up with like 6 games against the Pirates.
Yeah, Milwaukee here finishes up. They got 2 versus St. Louis, and then they finish with 7 versus Miami and Arizona. But inside there, they got the Mets, the Yankees, more Cards. They go to the Dodgers. They have 7 with the Dodgers coming up here after the series with the Cards that you mentioned.
Yeah.
They got Tampa Bay right before the Cards. So they got a tough little, 9 games coming up, and then you get the Cubs, but then you go back to the Dodgers, but then you go back to the Cubs, Pirates, D-backs, Rockies, Giants, Reds, before then you get to another tough stretch where you get Cards again, Yankees, Mets. So Milwaukee, and the problem with Milwaukee is they came out of the deadline and they got swept by the Pirates.
Yeah.
Or they lost 3 or 4 to the Pirates here recently. No, they got swept. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
they got swept by the Pirates. And you're coming out and you're just the winners of 4 or 5, and then you get swept by the Pirates. You're like, whoa, what's going on here? And they lost to the Reds last night.
Yeah.
So
I like this bet here then.
Yeah, something's going on.
I like the Cardinals at minus 125. Like I said, we don't like to be on this side of the number, but this is still low enough per your bankroll to make a decent bet.
Yeah.
So far, we got the Verlander future bet I like so far, and then we got the future on the Cardinals to win the Central. So those are 2 good bets there. I think that you get some good value still Verlander is going to pay a little bit higher, but I would bet on DraftKings because it's a little bit lower than FanDuel right now. So I would bet on DraftKings at minus 148 for Verlander to win the Cy Young. We staying away, even though we agreed to the poll question, we're staying away from what's up, Chuck? I think I saw your comment in there. What's going on, brother? Staying
What's
away,
up, Josh?
staying away from the Phillies bet for minus 255. Staying away from that bet. It's too high to bet that right now. And then regular season, we talked about them. Most regular season wins by 106. That's all they have right now, midseason. Yeah, I don't know enough to make any kind of thought on that bet. All right, so let's look at today's slate. See what we got on the slate today, and then we'll finish up with some plays today on the slate, and then we'll get everybody out of here, man, so we can get you guys to get some bets in and kind of figure out what you want to do. All right. So this is today's slate. Game start at 12 o'clock, so we don't have too much time to waste here. First one obviously sticks out is obviously the Phillies right here. Going for the sweep today. Now I have this thing about teams that sweep. I typically, because I think sweeping a team is hard, I typically go against the grain and just, I don't say blindly bet, but as long as the team is somewhat competent, I do bet the other side of it. But today,
That's
do
not
like
the case.
Yeah, it's not the case today. I do like the Phillies. Washington is absolutely terrible. All bats are live today. You can, I know Hoskins has been on a tear. Castellanos. I've been slowly picking back up on Castellanos once I heard that statistically Castellanos' best month in his career is August. So, and that's starting to show. Now, he obviously Washington helps that because they suck. But still, it's always good to get a hitter to get his confidence back. So this minus 320 with Noah on the mound, obviously, I think Corey is a rotational guy. I don't think he has much. But with Noah on the mound, minus 320, that's a huge money line bet here. So if you were doing a parlay, obviously you can load up on the fills. I do like the run line here at minus 1.5, minus 155. Get some odds here.
A little bit of juice to you.
Yeah, a little bit of juice. It's going to be hot. The balls fly when it's hot. So home runs, very hard to hit. I know Vegas, Willie Vegas loves his home run parlays. Very hard to hit these motherfuckers. I'm just going to tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Very hard to hit home run parlays. Have to get very lucky, but the payout is unbelievable. If I was leaning anywhere with home runs, I think that Schwarber has hit 2 home runs in every series against the Nationals this year. So he already has one. I think it was the 5th he had one. He didn't go deep yesterday. So he's live. And if you look at these odds, usually most home run odds, like minus 350, 325, his is fucking plus 175, right? So he's either going to hit a home run or he doesn't.
It's almost telling you that he's going to hit one.
Yeah, they were like this yesterday. So I would have been mad if you bet every game that they've had with Washington to him to hit one. And then the way you do that is you just roll it. So say game 1, you bet 50, he missed it. Game 2, you would bet 100, and then he missed it. Game 3, you bet 150. And then hopefully he would. It's a luck, right?
Yeah.
But hopefully he would hit it, and then you would get your payout plus some interest on that. So Castellanos obviously has been hitting the ball well, but I'm gonna stay away. If I would lean at anybody on this list, I'll go with the hot guy. I'm not sure if Hoskins ever hit 4 home runs in a row in his career, but he's hit 3 already. Wouldn't be surprised if he hits one here. But I like, because I think all the bats are live, I like going with like hits.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to stay with Castellanos. That's 1.5. I'm looking for just one hit.
Probably won't have it. Probably I tend to think they're all 1.5. So they get the push factor.
You know what? Let me switch. Let me switch over. This is why we shop. Let me go to FanDuel, because I think FanDuel has the one hit bet sportsbook. Stay with me, y'all. If I can spell FanDuel right.
I forgot about the Peacock special here at 12.
With the games.
Yeah, with the game, that always throws you off. I think the Phillies played a couple weeks ago at 11:30.
Wow.
Good old Peacock special.
Here we go. The recorder hit isn't one. Yeah, here we go. All right, let's switch it up. Gotta love the sports books, man. Giving you more value. Stay with me, y'all. Stay with it.
While you're pulling that, what do you think of that over under 8.5?
With Nola on the mound, I don't like it. I like the under, but I'm scared because we could score 8 runs by ourselves.
Completely agree with you. Yep. I wanted to see where your head was because I agree. Like Nola can throw a shutout. It was like the other day against Gibson. I had the overs of what was it, 8.5 or 9.5, and we put up all those runs, and all I got was a push out of it.
Oh, really?
I think it was 9. That's exactly it was 9 because it ended up 8-1. So I got a push out of it because Gibson was so good.
What? No, hold on. Was that yesterday?
No, it was the Friday.
Okay. Because I was about to say they scored 11. I thought yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, so we switched it up, and FanDuel does have the record 1 hit.
Okay.
I really like. So, like I said, loading up on the bats for the Phillies. So Castellanos. I might stay away from Hoskins. He's been really hot. Did they release the lineup today? Where are these boys hitting?
Let me check Twitter.
No, the lineup's not available yet. That's all right. Washington really sucks. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, but Bohm.
There it is. It's out.
It is up?
Yeah, so we got Schwarber leading off, playing left. Hoskins DHing.
Okay.
Batting second. Bombeck at third, batting third. Hall playing first base. Remember we talked about that a little earlier with Harper coming back.
Yep.
You might see Hall play a game or two at first base, so that's where he's at today. Castellanos in right.
He's at fifth. Okay.
Stott at short. Batting sixth. Marsh in center, batting seventh. Stubbs catching, batting eighth. And Nick Maton playing second base, batting ninth.
All right, so I'm going Castellanos, and I'm going to go the recorder RBI. We're going to go with Bomb, recorder RBI.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go with the Phils to win.
I like it.
So Castellanos, same game parlay here. Castellanos to give me a hit. Bomb to give me a R. I like him in this spot after Castellanos. Bomb. And the Phillies to win.
And what's that payout?
260.
That's perfect. Especially because you got to factor in that what minus 300 that the Phillies are, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like you're paying down because that's such a quote unquote lock, right?
Hard to say lock.
No, I say quote unquote, right?
Yeah. So we want to get cute.
Odds that high, right?
Yeah, we want to get cute though. We got player performance. So Nola right now with his strikeouts, +6 strikeouts. He's been hot too, man. He averages like 6 against a really softer lineup. He's had 8, 7, 10, 7 in his last 4. He only had 3 against Washington July 6th, 8 against Washington June 18th.
Yeah, so you're right. July 6th, he had 3 against the Nats, but then he went 7, 10, 7, 8.
And look at his strikeouts.
That's where I was looking at.
+5 is still -700. All right, let's get cute here. You know what I'll do is, where's the alternate? Alternate run line. So every game they've played, they've beaten them by what? 3? Has any game been close?
No.
The first game was a 1-5-4, then 7-2, then 11-5. And then with Nola on the mound, the games they've played.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was, because that was the short game with Thor.
Yeah, that is right. 2-1. So all been tight games with Nola. All right, I won't get cute. We'll keep it simple. We'll keep it simple. We like this play. Same game parlay. Nick Castellanos with a hit, bombed the recorder RBI, and the Phillies to win to finish the sweep of the Washington Nationals. Plus 260.
I like it.
That's a good play.
I like it because, from a baseball standpoint, and what the Phillies are trying to do here too, a win today and a sweep here. I'm not saying it allows them to lose 2 or 3 from the Marlins, but it opens up the ability to say, hey, if you struggle and you lose 2 or 3, you still go 5-2 in your last 7. Right? That's a good stretch. Right. Not that anyone's going to be happy losing 2 or 3 to the Marlins at home, but when you factor in you just swept or you're about to sweep the Nationals, it allows for that little bit of leeway there to where you don't lose too much ground. Right.
Here's something. So for those who think 260, I want a little bit more. Now, as long as you believe in the bats staying hot, then I would like the total runs over. It's a lot though. It's 5.5. But I would kind of like those total runs. Or go the other way. You believe in Nola, and do under Washington under 3.
So that's why Vegas is so good, right? Because I think the overruns, if you're overruns is 4.5, I think that's a good bet.
Yeah, if this was 4.5, I would love this.
Absolutely, right? And then same thing with the Nats. If that's under 4, I'm all over it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm over.
But where they have it, it's why Vegas is great, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to get a little bit cute with it, because I was just searching for a little bit more value, because the thing about parlays, you love. I don't like the long lottery ticket parlays.
No, sure,
yeah. 30,000 to win, but I know a lot of people love to bet small to win big. It's the name of the game, and that's why I call them scratchy ticket lotteries.
Yep.
You go put $20 in there, and you're hoping your $5 or $10 or $20 ticket that you got to win you $10,000. So if you want to get cute,
well, if you wanted to get cute, what if you just swapped the money line for the run line there?
Yeah, we could do that. It's not enough though.
No.
Yeah. So if you, in my head, you do this, but see, the logic is it going to be a 6-5 game?
Could be. Yeah, you're right.
With Nola on the mound. Because that's what I'm saying here.
He does tend to have those closer games.
So, if that's the case, then you would still go here. Won't let you do it. Won't let you do it. Never mind. Can't even get cute. Let's see. You do too much, and you just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Go with the plus 260. I like this bet once again. Bomb with an RBI, Castellanos with a hit, and the Phillies to win the game. All right, let's look at some more here. Now, the one thing that's cool about FanDuel, you can keep adding to this same game parlay. They allow you to add to the same game parlay. The other one that I did like, that I did see, who were the 2 aces on the mound that I saw that I thought was going to be a hell of a goddamn battle? Who was it? Here it is.
Was it the Yankees-Cardinals game?
Nah, it was the Braves and Mets with DeGrom and Strider on the mound.
Oh, yeah.
So the one bet that I bet blind, literally blind, with DeGrom on the mound is the Nerfy bet. So the Nerfy bet is no run first inning.
No runs first inning.
So this should be kind of high. So where is it? First inning results. No. First inning. No. Where is that bet? Innings. I don't want a tie. I want it to be 0-0. I guess this would be the equivalent to that. First inning correct score would be 0-0.
Yeah, but to your point, though, I think that's not the right area.
That's not the right bet. Yeah.
No.
I don't know where they put that.
I'm going to pull it up, too, trying to help you out.
Maybe this is it. First inning over and under. That's got to be it, right? First inning over and under, a half runs. It's pretty much the nerfy bet because you're going under, obviously. And you get a little bit better odds than the tie. I'm almost positive this has to be it. So the nerfy play is a great play when you have aces going against each other. Typically, it usually hits where there's no runs in the first inning. Guys start still getting to the swing of it. But this is a really decent bet. You got Strider on the mound leading in the Rookie of the Year, and you already know about DeGrom. DeGrom does not give up runs. He does not give up a lot of runs. Had a pretty strong outing before, so I'm not really worried about him. You kind of have to worry about Strider giving up some a little bit. But if you look at what they did, let's look back at what they did yesterday. August 6th. The Mets did get 2 in the first. Before that, let me see what else did they get. Wow, they played them almost 6 times. Probably, I bet you every inning they got at least 1 run. Yep, there's 2. So the third game they didn't was with Max and Max.
Max.
Yeah, Max versus Max and Fried. There was no first. There was no. That was a nerfy win right there. So out of the 4 games, it's only 1-3, but the 1 was with the aces on here. I still like this bet.
Yeah.
I can kind of explain it every which way or I can, but I still like this bet with good pitching on the mound. The total is already low at 7. I like this bet. And like I said, you can keep adding to this. We went from plus 260 for the same game, but now we have a 4-leg same game parlay that includes a selection outside of the same game parlay. And now you're up to 5-1 on a 4 teamer. Really like that bet.
And that's a good solid four spots there.
Yeah. Trying to think. Anything else that I would like here? That was the one that stuck out to me without going too far into it. I'm trying to think of anything that sticks out to me. I like the Dodgers to sweep the Padres. I'll tell you that right now.
We got Tim Anderson on the mound, 12-1.
Yeah, I mean Darvish is good.
Versus Darvish, yep.
Yeah, Darvish is good. But I like the Dodgers to sweep them. But that wouldn't be a bad bet to go Padres. Like I said, one of my things I look at is teams that are on the fence of getting swept, and I usually go the other way. So I think that's why those odds are low. I mean, those odds are lower than what they should be, more likely. You get a little bit of juice with plus 116. So I
was going to say, what's the juice on the other side? I just see the favorite.
Right now, the favorite is minus 136. The Padres are plus 116.
Okay.
And they're plus 1.5 on the run line, which is pretty high. So that tells me that it should be a decently close game. And I like I don't mind the dog here and the Padres. Out of all the plays I see, the Padres is probably the best dog I see today. I wouldn't bet anywhere else. Maybe the Reds. Maybe the Reds go back and get another one.
It's possible.
I doubt it. I'm not betting.
But it's Milwaukee's ace on the mound, so I would lean against it.
With Bums, is that his name? Burns.
Corbin Burns, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it for today. I think I don't see anything that kind of sticks out. Like I like to do total bases. I like to do team totals, but I'm not seeing anything that's sticking out to me that makes a lot of sense. Like I'm not betting the Rockies and Diamondbacks.
Right.
Angels, staying away from the Angels. Obviously, Yankees a good player. I'm interested to see why the Houston Astros are such short line against Cleveland at minus 136. I don't understand that. I have to look deeper into that.
Yeah, I mean, and Tristan McKenzie for Cleveland is good, but he's not having a great year.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like he's
So,
the tall black kid, right? With the
yeah,
dread.
yeah, like he's definitely going to be a stud, but he's not there yet. He's still really young.
Yeah, he's got an arm though, man.
He does, but Christian Javier hasn't had that great of a year either. But you just, you almost bet on that. You almost bet on that lineup though, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't.
Like you or I could be pitching for the Astros, and we should still be favored.
Yeah, let me see. What's the total? I wonder what the total runs for Astros. Wow, they're at 4
on a 7.5 game.
Their lineup is out too. I mean, it's all the stars.
Yeah, everyone's playing.
Yeah, everyone's playing. Oh, what's his face isn't playing. What's his name? You just talked about him. Yeah, Altuve's not playing.
Yeah, but that's it, really, right? You know what I mean?
So fucking deep, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only one. Pinion's playing Diaz, Alvarez,
no.
Brickman, McCormick. It's just Altuve is getting the day off. That's about it. Javier's been decent. He had a quality start last game against Boston.
It's a shame Yordan Alvarez is in the same division or league as Aaron Judge, because Yordan Alvarez is having an MVP caliber year, but it doesn't matter in the AL when you got an Aaron Judge right now.
Yeah. I saw
he's got 30 bombs, 73 RBIs to go to 303 average.
Yeah.
Now, the only problem with him is he's a DH, so you tend to look at those numbers a little bit more because all you're doing is DHing. But he's having an incredible year.
Yeah, the last bet I saw before we get out of here was I think him to hit over 61.5 home runs.
Yordan or Judge?
Judge. For Judge to hit over 61. And there was another one for, I guess, him. What's the record? 73?
73.
Yeah, so it was the other one was for him to hit 73. So, and he's at, 40 something now?
Yeah, 40. Let me just get the exact number. But it's close. It's 40 or 41.
Yeah, I don't think he gets there. That's a lot. You're talking about 30 home runs?
43
in 50 games.
43. So yeah, he's got to hit 30 home runs in 50 games.
Yeah, that'd be a negative. I don't even think he gets to 60. I think I can see him sitting in the 50s.
Yeah, I mean, once Steve stop pitching to him.
Yeah, I agree. All right, y'all. We got we went a little bit long-winded, but we had some great bets today. Just real quick, those future bets was St. Louis Cardinals to win a division. I think that was sitting at minus 125.
Yep.
Verlander at minus 148. That was on DraftKings. And then we had a 4-game parlay plus 500. And that was a same-game parlay for Castellanos to get a hit, Bomb to record an RBI, Phillies to win, and then a Nerfy bet under a half a run in the Atlanta Braves New York Mets game. That paid out a little bit over 5-1 at plus 503. I am locking that in now. The one thing I do want to tell you guys, it's great to get in here and talk bets. It's great here to give out free bets, but it's also great to bet them with you because I win when you guys win, so I'm just as excited, and I feel like shit when I lose too. So I lose just like how you lose. I'm in the fire with you. I'm not just a guy just sitting here just throwing out bets and saying, go ahead and bet this and bet that. I'm in the fire with you. I'm on the front line with you, trying to take and kill the sports books and the handicappers and the bookmen that come and try to take our money. So I want to thank everybody for joining, man. Greg, you're always welcome on the show, brother.
Thanks, brother.
Talking bets for MoneyPot Podcast, A2D Radio. We're out of here. Money clap.
Let's go! This ain't the Mike Tyson force this game, he stinks!
Oh shit!
It's